Hi there. In my last video, I encouraged you to do a bit of reflective thinking and I asked three questions. Number one, what things do you do that make you feel most alive and fulfilled? Number two, I asked what skills and abilities do you have? And number three, what dreams or ambitions do you have? I hope you've been able to take some time to think about these questions. I still have three more questions for you and they are as follows. Number one, what things do you do that drain you of life? Previously, I asked what you do that makes you feel most alive, but for many of us, we spend too much time doing the things that drain us of life. These are the activities that tend to leave us feeling tired and depressed. And it can be anything from answering emails to spending too much time with people, or for the extroverts, perhaps spending too much time on your own. For some, it may even be your job or the many commitments that you've made. Now, I need to point out I'm not advocating laziness or a lack of responsibility here, and I'll talk about the tension in this later. But for the purposes of this exercise, you need to evaluate how you spend your average day or week and write down those things which leave you feeling tired, drained, or very low. Okay, question number two. What angers and frustrates you? Now, I'm not talking here about someone who cuts you off on the motorway or takes too long at the supermarket checkout. But I have noticed that most people will have something that really gets them going when they hear about it. Suddenly, you'll see a Facebook rant from them, or they'll talk very passionately about how wrong this particular thing is. It might be something in the area of politics or education. It might be something to do with the food industry or the media, or it might be the evils of human trafficking. There are a myriad of issues that can provoke an impassioned response from us. Now, for the sake of our sanity, I think it's healthy that we tend to just have one or two areas that really hit our buttons. The thing about this kind of anger is that it can be another clue to where our focus should be. If you get angry about a local government or political issue, maybe there's something that you're uniquely gifted to do which might bring about positive change in that area. I also think it's wise to point out here that we shouldn't expect everyone else to get quite as worked up or impassioned about the thing that really gets to us. For example, I think the evils of human trafficking are awful, but for some reason it doesn't get me quite as angry or worked up as when I see the way that the media pushes overtly sexual images at young children and teens. That whole subject area can really get me ranting. Does it mean that one is less important than the other? Of course not. It's just, for whatever reason, most of us tend to have only certain things that provoke this kind of response in us. So take a moment and recall the last time some issue really pushed your buttons and write it down. Okay, question number three. What things hinder you the most in life? This is the place to make an honest assessment of what holds you back. It may be health issues, it may be a lack of time or energy, it may be financial pressure. Most often, the biggest issue that holds a person back will tend to be a fear of something. How many times have you been held back simply because you feared failure, or you feared looking foolish, or perhaps being ridiculed? Maybe you held back going deeper in a relationship because you feared rejection. I want to point out here that this question could provoke a response that might have you assigning blame or resentment towards those who are closest to you. For example, if you are a father and your dream is to play lead guitar in a touring rock band, you may think that your wife and kids are hindering you. Obviously, I am not suggesting that you ditch them and pursue this dream. All of these questions that I am asking are within the context of you having worked out your priorities and responsibilities. What I'm trying to hit with these kind of questions are the places of false responsibility that people can hold on to. Something that goes along these lines. Well, my friend says I can't go and take that painting class because I have to spend more time with him. Sounds a little bit like you're being manipulated, and it has provoked a sense of false responsibility. So it needs to be addressed and talked through. I hope you see where I'm coming from in this. So with that clarification, I would suggest you take a minute to think about the things which hinder forward movement towards your dreams or towards engaging more with the things that you enjoy doing. What do you fear, or what do you lack right now? Okay, so you should now have a list of 6 questions with some answers beside each question. In the next session, I'm going to give you some ways of further analysing these and give suggestions on how you can use this reflection to move forward in your life. Remember, you don't have to fit into an uncomfortable mold. You can break out and be the brilliant person that you were born to be. Okay, bye for now.